From civil war to lewd acts that would without a doubt be illegal today, Suetonius' The 12 Caesars is one of the most interesting and important works ever written. This video is for people that want to know about Roman history but can't be asked reading the book. Suetonius is one of ancient Rome's greatest historians, and he literally wrote the book on Roman history. The 12 Caesars chronicles the lives and events of the first 12 Roman emperors, starting with Julius Caesar. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick summary of the highlights of each of them. Stick around, as the last man on this list did something so shocking, you simply need to know it. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, it really means a lot. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, Julius Caesar, the first and most famous Roman emperor, although he wasn't technically emperor. Caesar is known for his conquest of Gaul, basically France, and for his civil wars with the Senate and former friend Pompey. Caesar defeated Pompey at the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BC. He then went on to declare himself dictator perpetuo, or dictator for life, issuing a sweeping series of reforms to help fix Rome's crumbling infrastructure. He reformed Roman law to stabilize the government. He forgave many debts for the lower classes. He issued public works, distributed land again to help the poor, and a crackdown on corruption and a fairer taxation. Now, despite the many good things that Caesar did for Rome, the Senate never really forgave him for the whole civil war thing, in which many of them lost a lot of wealth, and they plotted against him on the Ides of March in 44 BC, stabbing him to death 23 times in the Senate House. Number 2, Augustus, the first official emperor and Caesar's heir. After defeating Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, Augustus was made the undisputed, uncontested ruler of the Roman Empire. He expanded Rome's borders, most notably Egypt, Hispania, which is Spain and Portugal, the Alpine regions like Switzerland, Judea, and parts of North Africa and the Balkans. He made progress into Germania until the disaster of the massacre of the Teutoburg forest in 9 AD, where Rome lost approximately 20,000 legionnaires. This is one of the biggest disasters in Roman history. Augustus also went on to consolidate many of Caesar's earlier administrative reforms, creating a professional civil service and implementing an effective tax system. Augustus is probably best known for his concept of Pax Romana, or the Roman peace. Despite all the wars, the empire was relatively peaceful during his reign. Pax Romana would last approximately 2 centuries, and during this period, Rome would experience its best years, thanks to the reforms of Augustus. Augustus was also established a precedence for imperial succession by grooming his heir, Tiberius. Speaking of which, Number 3, Tiberius. Now this is where things begin to take a dark turn. Tiberius was mad. Not in the cute, forgivable way. No, he was actually full-on mad. Initially, Tiberius wasn't that terrible. He did continue Augustus's administrative reforms, experienced some military success, especially in Germania, and the Roman treasury had a surplus during his reign. However, much like Game of Thrones, when things went bad, they went bad fast. After the death of his son Drusus in 9 BC, Tiberius became increasingly paranoid and retreated to the island of Capri, where he engaged in some activities that would make P. Diddy look like a Girl Scout. Now, I'm not going to go into too much details, I really don't want this video to be taken down, but feel free to do your own research. But I must warn you, Tiberius was a wrong'un. Perhaps the worst thing that Tiberius did, however, was groom his heir, Caligula, famously stating that he was nursing a viper for the people of Rome. Number 4, Caligula. However bad Tiberius was, Caligula took it to a whole nother level. Seriously, Caligula was so evil that in a weird way, it's almost respectable. Caligula declared himself a living god, as you do, and conducted a series of purges, killing possibly hundreds of wealthy Romans and taking their money for himself. He also slept with the wives of senators and made them watch, which I'm sorry, is just a really weird thing to do. Caligula's escapades didn't end there. He famously slept with not one, not two, but all three of his own sisters. Oh yeah, he also tried to make his horse Incantatus a consul, which is the highest rank in the Roman military. Caligula was eventually killed by his own Praetorian Guard after just 4 years in charge. Now you know you're a bad guy when the men who are sworn to protect you end up taking you out. Number 5, Claudius. Okay, so this is where things start to get better again. Claudius took over after his nephew Caligula's death, due largely to the fact that Caligula had killed pretty much every other member of his own family. Claudius made a lot of administrative reforms, making the government more efficient. He expanded the empire, famously conquering Britain in 43 AD. Claudius would personally preside over legal cases and was known for being a fair man. He also undertook many public works, fixing roads, building new aqueducts and a new harbour in Ostia, which helped to import much grain to the growing capital. Now, despite his achievements, there were some downsides to Claudius's rule. The emperor was easily manipulated by those closest to him. Many purges, took place under his rule, influenced by his freedmen who wielded considerable power and influence. His third wife, Messalina, was executed for treason against him, and he was frequently mocked and ridiculed for his physical deformities. Now, it is unknown exactly what was wrong with him, but it is thought that it could have been cerebral palsy, polio, or Tourette's. It could have been all three. For all we know, he was not a well man. But Claudius's biggest mistake was his chosen successor. Number 6, Nero. The man who gives Caligula a run for his money in the crazy department. Nero killed his own mother and famously kicked his pregnant wife to death. He also killed many senators in yet more purging. Seriously, who would want to be a senator during this period? He spent money lavishly, including a giant golden pleasure palace for himself. During his reign, Rome experienced a great fire, which almost destroyed the city completely. Nero's role in the fire is debatable. Some say he started the fire, some say he played the lyre while the city was burning, which is a musical instrument similar to a harp, and others say that he opened his personal gardens to help the victims during the fire. Despite being emperor, Nero's ultimate career choice was to be an artist. When the people of Rome rebelled against him and wanted his head, he famously sang to them to try and ease the tension. Shockingly, that didn't work, and he was forced to end his own life in 68 AD after just 13 years on the throne. His last words, "What an artist dies in me." That's all for part 1 of Suetonius. Join me next week when we look at the year of the 4 emperors, when the Roman Empire tinkers on the verge of collapse. Once again, if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'm only a small channel, so it really helps. Every like and subscribe really helps out massively. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Have a great day.